J1685. Looks like it's a Permco pump. I finally went and looked up the part number. I don't know if I'll be able to get a rebuild kit for it. I hope so. That works way better. This funky little washer. That is weird, huh? Oh my god, really? That is disgusting. That is one wore out washer. And this funky flat washer. Oh, come right apart. Nice. Gas. There. Doesn't look too bad. American bearings. Uh-oh. There's a chunk of rubber right there. Looks like it's almost supposed to have them there. Yeah, there's a little rubber chunk. Missing one. This little gasket they use. It's so thin. That's crazy that seals. Whew. Better take care of that guy. Okay, these little rubber things, I might be able to just cut some O-rings off or something. Okay, I see how this works now. That slides in there. Bottom woodruff key looking thing. This paper thin gaskets too. Wow. Oh. How does that seal? That is the thinnest gasket I've ever seen. Where it's leaking from. Bearing. This main bearing's shot, but I think the rest of it looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. I can figure out how to get this main bearing and seal. I think I'm gonna have to pull this off. I wonder if I can tap that out with the hammer. There's so much crud in there. Oh yeah, thing is toast to seal in this main bearing. Try to clean out this crud in here. Looks like it was coming in from the outside. I'm gonna have to clean out this whole pump. Okay, let's go try to pound this thing off. This is an idea. I found this little scrap piece by my welding table. See if that'll work. Okay, now we can go find a bearing and a seal tomorrow. Okay, we're gonna go hunt down some hardware tomorrow. Hopefully I can find some and I'll have to order it. So I was able to find part number 3205 ND, made in USA. Great. Hey friends, we are back. I was able to source some parts. So I found this bearing from Tractor Supply, and it's the same exact measurement. Sadly, it's made in China. So this was the bearing I took out of there. It's made in the US. But it went out because this got a bunch of dirt in there and it was just scraping because nobody power washed it ever. And I don't know if the seal on the back just dissolved or that's just how it is. It says it's ND3205, but I could not find that online. I went to Caterpillar and then I went to Motion Industries and they all just, yeah. Caterpillar didn't help me much on that one because I didn't have any part numbers, and then Motion Industries said they'd look into it, and I waited all day long and nobody got back to me. So you know me, I'm too impatient for that kind of stuff. So it's like I'll just go to Tractor Supply and see if they have it. Just before I head home, I go to Tractor Supply and I couldn't believe it. This thing is the same exact dimensions. The only problem is it's got seals on both sides. So I don't know if the hydraulic oil is going to eat into this seal. This one is a 6205 2RS, and I looked it up. It cross-referenced was, let's see, Timken, John Deere, High Pro 6205-2RS, various ag and general purpose applications, and roller pump shaft bearings. So hopefully it's rated for hydraulic fluid, and this seal just doesn't eat out. Just in case, I'm going to put a little bit of high temp silicone in there, the RTV sealant, just to make sure it seals, because this is supposed to be sealed up in here, and it's pretty dirty in there. It took me a while to get it that clean, and yeah, I'm just gonna put a little bit on the bottom just to make sure it gets a nice seal. Okay, let's get into it. This has got like a brass collar, and I keep cleaning this out. It's like every time it dries and I respray it, something else coming out of there. So I think that's about as clean as I'm getting it. Then I gotta worry about smashing this. I put a piece of cardboard on top of those. I don't think it's that tight of a fit, to be honest. Probably just tap it in with this. Yeah, I think I got a strategy now. Put a little bit of this high temp silicone in here. Figure if this does get into the hydraulic fluid, it'll probably just get eaten up alive by the hydraulic fluid. Okay, I think that's good enough for what I'm doing. So this was the little shaft. So I think I'm gonna have to put the bearing in. Okay, I believe the best bet is to put this in first. I'll just put the flat washer on there, and shoot, it's not good.
I was just fooling about.
Straighten that out. There it is. Make sure this isn't bent. Looks pretty good. Maybe this thin washer will work. I just really like for this to be a tight fit. That's kind of touching. I don't know about that. I'm thinking I'm just going to rock this one washer. At least it's like a standard size. Put this in there. I'm wondering if this thing will even go on. If it does, how tight of a fit is it? I mean, that seems, yeah, it's not. Wonder if I put this spacer on. I should probably just put it this way so the crud won't build up in there. Yeah, it's not quite seating. They really made this like a funky size.
Is that a Huffy? That's a nice looking bike, boy.
This should be seating pretty good here. Let me try it with the old washer just to see how tight of it fit. If it's really tight fit, I think I'm just gonna go with the old washer. It needs to be a snug fit, otherwise crud can get in there. But this thing is wore out, so it's gonna drag on this new bearing. So I gotta put it backwards. That's like kind of loose. Let's compare it real quick with just one big washer. Okay, so that's one big washer. Yeah, this one big washer feels a little better. Well, the question is, can this bearing move freely? Feels like it can. Okay, I think I'm gonna rock that big washer. That seems like a better fit than those funky washers I took out that are all rusted and pitted. I am gonna pack this with grease. If I pack it full of grease, it's gonna be a lot harder for it to recirculate and get the dirt in there than compared to if it's just an empty void and it can just blow straight in there. I don't know. I think I'm gonna pack it with grease. Still contemplating if I should pack it with grease. So I'm thinking it's right on the front of the dozer blade. A lot of dust right there. So is that, if I pack it full of grease, is it just gonna get stuck and just grind the seal out? There should be another seal on here. It doesn't make much sense, this design.
Will this melt in there?
So that goes on there. There's just a little bit of a gap in there. You know, I'm thinking I'm not gonna pack it with grease because it's just gonna attract anything that's gonna blow in there is gonna stick. And when I power wash, there's no way that's going to come out of there if there's grease in there. I'm thinking if I don't pack it with grease, washing it might actually get some of the dirt out. But if it's packed with grease, there's no way any of that dirt's ever going to get out of there from washing it. Either way, I don't know. It's kind of a catch-22. Okay, so I'm just going to put this washer on there nice and clean. This is just a regular machine washer, nothing fancy. And this thing still rolls great. Yeah, this bearing's not even touching. Maybe I'll just put some silicone in there. This outer diameter is a little wider than the inner diameter, so there's a little gap that this can sit on. So yeah, I think I'm going to pack a little bit of silicone in there. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. Let's just put a little bit of silicone on here just so the dirt can't get inside there. I think that work. It might bound up a little bit at first, but pretty sure it's going to have enough torque where it's not really going to matter. I don't know, you guys drop a comment down below on what you would do to restore this ancient hydraulic pump. I believe it's a Permco. I called them and gave them the part number. I found one on eBay. It said it was a Permco and it looks just like mine. And Permco said they couldn't help me with the part numbers. I gave them off this, and it's pretty pitted, so it's kind of hard to, can't really blame them. So I'm gonna leave this part empty as much as I can where it rides. Okay, I'll put my finger so this thing doesn't snap off into the wood somewhere. Okay, now this shaft goes in like that, and I already cleaned this off. It was pretty pitted. You can see it got some moisture damage pitted right here on the shaft, but nothing crazy. Everything is looking pretty good. I hit it with the abrasive scrub pad a little bit. I don't want to take too much material off. These bearings are in pretty good shape. So let's go ahead and trying to remember right. I believe I can put that key in there while it's pushed in. I better double check though. This one's kind of got a funky key. I've never seen one like this before. So yeah, there ain't much space, but I can put it in there. And I'm hitting this because this is a brass hammer, so it's not going to affect this hardened shaft. But for me, just tapping it lightly. And you just keep hammering until it feels solid. Can you hear that pitch change? And this collar from the bearing just trying to come out. Let's tap that back in. Never tap this with a regular hammer. You will damage that shaft. You can see it didn't even do anything because I have a brass hammer. And I still don't really recommend the brass hammer. You could still booger something up if you hit it hard enough. But I'm just lightly tapping it in. So that looks pretty good. It's nice and freely. Oh, we almost lost our key.
You'll have to excuse my friend. He's a little slow.
Okay, so the next step is this little gasket. I've been trying to reuse the gaskets because they came out pretty nice, but they're so thin, it's crazy. Crazy thin gaskets. I've never seen anything like this before.
Crazy.
Tractor doesn't have a hydraulic filter system on it, so I'm gonna flush it out, and then there's not even a valve to flush it out. You gotta take off the line, which is really annoying. Super hard to divert the fluid too from the tank. I might just pump it out or something, or vacuum it out. That's probably the way to go. flush it out a couple times. You gotta be careful because if you go in here too much, I'm gonna break this gasket. And I don't believe I can hit this with brake cleaner either. I think I'm gonna hit it with some blaster actually. Okay, that's all I'm messing with this thing because it's gonna break if I keep trying to clean it. It's still got a little bit of stuff on it, but so what I'm gonna do here is we got the gasket. Man, still got some crud on it. Won't clean off though. I'm just gonna put a little bit of diesel oil in here. Nothing crazy. Probably should just use hydraulic fluid, but I don't think this will matter. This has got more lubrication properties probably. So just a little bit, just so there's something. When you first start that pump, it's gonna be empty. Now this next step is kind of tricky, I'm not gonna lie. This one on the outside, just like that. And yeah, these plates are the same, it doesn't matter. Well, actually, yeah, they are the same. So these went on there like that, but I have to put my homemade washer gaskets. I just cut that O-ring. Hopefully they stick. I'm pretty sure there was supposed to be gaskets or seals in here. Kind of a weird design. I don't know why they would do that, but I'm just going to put them on all four. And then for some reason it doesn't work right. I'm just going to have to tear it apart again and fix it. One of them had 3, and then the other one only had 1 seal. So I'm hoping it's not like diverting the fluid somehow. But it doesn't seem like it needs to divert the fluid to the outside of the pump. So this goes on the outside, just like that. I'm just kind of curious if any of those fell. Oh, they're still in there. Great, that might actually work. Okay, so we got that plate in there. Yeah, see, I don't know why I would want to divert the fluid to the... There's nowhere for it to go, so I'm guessing that there should have been seals in here. See, these are oversized O-rings. By the time they press down, there'll be a seal. This isn't ideal, but I could try to order them and wait weeks and weeks, and we finally got some good weather, so I'd really hate to be not working this thing, because we're gonna have some really nice weather, and then like it's supposed to rain in like a week or something, so that one's a little on the short side, but I think that'll work. I think I can do one at a time. So clean this one out pretty good, but I'm gonna double check. Yeah, a little bit of moisture got in here, but nothing crazy. Got to be careful with these needle bearings. These little brackets can fall out and you'll just lose all your bearings. I learned that doing drive lines. Drive lines are super hard. Some of them aren't even greasable. You got to take them apart and put new wheel bearing grease in there and repack them. Okay, this isn't gonna work. Make sure these bearings are all the way in. I believe that's it. See, these go right in. And we have one more Woodruff key for the main yoke from the engine. I'd say this pump's probably got another 1,000 hours on it. Maybe more, just from the wear and those thrust washers that I had to put those seals in. But these pumps are $1,000, so if I can get another 1,500, 2,000 hours out of it, that will make me really happy. Got it on there snug. Before I go cranking on it, I'm gonna double check. I'm gonna hand spin it. It should spin nice and freely. Again, it's not wanting to spin nice and freely. So this thing spins counterclockwise. So if it's bound up, I might have to take it back apart. Yeah, something's not right there. Well, we thought we had it.
2 generations later.
These washers are too thick, I think, but Okay, so I'm going to take this back apart and make these smaller so it's not biting. I'm going to wear out this pump. Okay, so I got the next size down O-ring. I'm going to try that. Hopefully that works. Otherwise, it's going to be a long one. Not to order that material and wait forever. And these are going to want to fall out because they're so small. Okay, I think this will work. Oh yeah, nice and smooth. So now we got those little shock absorbers in there. They weren't seals. They were actually like a shock absorber. Keep a compression on those two plates snug up against those teeth. That way it's not leaking. So the pump should work better. It should seal better. And I'm happy with this. I only got, well, I had to drive to the next town over. It's an hour drive for me to go to a city like town thing. And the bearing was 15 bucks. And I got the washer was a couple bucks plus my gas. So probably like 60 bucks to get this fixed. I am really happy with that. If I were to send this in, if they would even accept it, I don't know what they would charge. This is a $1,000 pump, and I was looking at the modern pumps that they have now. They only have 4 bolts on them, and they're like $1,000. This one has 8 bolts. Like, this thing is super heavy duty, so I'm guessing they would charge me at least $500-600. But the problem for me is this thing is so heavy. The shipping's gonna kill me. So I'm glad, hopefully, I fixed it for a while. Okay. We are done messing with this thing for today. So we got it all snugged down, and I can move it with my fingers. I was told you want to always go the rotation of the pump spinning. You can damage them if you go backwards. So this one is counterclockwise. Voila. We'll see you on the next step.